right. Hello. I'm Dan Salem. I'm live on the BuzzChomp YouTube channel, like I am every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, a few minutes early tonight. Please bear with me. I'm moving and thinking slow. It's a glasses night in the Salem household. All right, I'm Dan Salem. I'm live on YouTube, BuzzChomp's YouTube channel. Let me go live on Facebook. And 3, 2, 1. Hello, Facebook live. I'm Dan Salem, over live on BuzzChomp's YouTube channel and at the Dan Salem on Facebook. Always at the Dan Salem on Twitter. As I mentioned a moment ago, bear with me. I'm a little slow tonight. It's a glasses night here. We're going to be talking new NFL free agents because that's right. The deadline to franchise tag players has elapsed. Therefore, teams were notifying each other of who will or will not be tagged. Therefore, we have some new NFL free agents. Most notably, the man in the photo I shared on at the Dan Salem earlier today over on Facebook, Allen Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He may or may not be a Jacksonville Jaguar in 2018. The team is not going to slap the franchise tag on him. They did not feel like he was worth the money after missing an entire year from injury. That's an interesting debate. Maybe they'd rather bring in somebody else. I don't know, but I think he's going to get close to his money. I don't know if the guaranteed money will be near the franchise tag money, and obviously any new deal he signs with Jacksonville could be much more favorable to their salary cap this season, which is very important because they want to add weapons around Blake Bortles. But he's going to be a free agent, and many teams will be able to add him. Welcome, Pikachu Plaza. Welcome, our moderator on YouTube. We're talking new NFL free agents, and then we're also going to dive a little deeper into the NFL.com's 101 free agents. Yes, we missed you. You've been out. We missed you. Thank you. Yes, you missed last week. We were talking free agents last week, this 101 list. NFL.com ranked their 101 free agents. I don't think any of them have signed yet. Maybe 1 or 2 got franchise. I'll have to look closely. But the key tonight is that several big players were not franchise tagged. And one big player is now off the list officially. Let's dive into that for a moment. Steelers make it official. They have slapped the franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell for the 2nd straight year. Now, this worked out really well for the Redskins when they franchised Kirk Cousins several weeks in a row. Yes, I did see your email. Thank you. Hold on. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you with ideas. Thank you. We have an interested party here joining the BuzzChomp team on YouTube, and we always welcome new inputs. Thank you for the link. What is that link you're sharing? Give me a heads up, and then I will let everyone else know that it's safe to click. What is that? So the Steelers have slapped the franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell. At the game. Oh, very cool. I will check it out after. Yes, video games of all kinds are fun. That's why we're here talking the NFL, because we love games. All right, so let's see what the Steelers – they made it official. So this is a non-new free agent, if you will. Oh, got to pause this. Oh, don't want to click the ad. My mistake. All right. So they officially placed an exclusive franchise tag on Le'Veon Bell for the 2nd year. So that means they couldn't come to an agreement on a contract. He's only permitted to negotiate with the Steelers for a long-term contract. Now, I kind of think they're going to agree on something. They tagged him for $14.5 million for the season. If they want to do anything with this last year of Ben Roethlisberger's career, they need to free up some salary cap space, which means signing Bell for more than 1 year, making it a little bit long-term. Jarvis Landry also received the franchise tag from Miami. That's because they want something back if any other team signs him. Ezekiel Ansah, defensive end Detroit, got the tag. DeMarcus Lawrence in Dallas got the tag, another defensive end. Oh, that was DeMarcus Lawrence. LaMarcus Joyner, safety of the Rams, got the tag, and Le'Veon Bell got the tag. And then Kyle Fuller of Chicago got the transition tag. So these players are guaranteed to make upwards of $11 million this season, no matter what. Now, unless they sign a long-term deal and they agree to a smaller contract for the season, that's their beans. But and 6 players off the free agent market. So those are not new free agents. Yes, I did. Thanks. I'll email you back. So those are not new free agents, if you will. But they were potentially now going to be worked into a trade. So only Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers can negotiate. So he's not going anywhere unless he retires, which would be interesting. Some of these other players can negotiate with other teams, but their former team now who have franchised them will get compensation if anything works out. And that compensation can be pretty steep, which means Landry's probably staying in Miami. Oh, let's see what else. So, yes, one of the big new free agents is wide receiver Sammy Watkins. The Rams did not tag him. He had a disappointing year last season after being shipped off to the Rams from Buffalo. Like right at the beginning of the year, it was weird. I mean, not weird. They were shedding money and stuff, and they dumped one of their higher salary players. But he's a free agent now after a down season, so he'll become a little less expensive than he otherwise would have. Now, this is intriguing for many reasons because he was really good in Buffalo. A team like Carolina, Nick Foles. Nick Foles is under contract for one more season, so he is not a free agent, and he did not receive the franchise tag. He is being shopped around like crazy by the Eagles to see how much the team is willing to trade for him. But he is under contract for one more year, which makes him even a sweeter trade deal because he's under contract for reasonable money. Now, Kirk Cousins is officially a free agent. They're not surprised because the Redskins traded for Alex Smith. So now ESPN's ranking the top 100 free agents now that it's official, franchise, not franchise. Bears want to keep Fuller if possible. The Pats did not keep Deion Branch. No, that didn't make sense. But they keep Kenny Britt. Britt was great. That doesn't surprise me. It's a little surprising that they, you know what? I think Sammy Watkins' price tag was too high for the payoff. That they could re-sign him for a cheaper deal, and he didn't really contribute to their offense. So the Vikings didn't tag Case Keenum, which is interesting. They must be optimistic about landing Kirk Cousins, according to ESPN. Now, that's a quote. I'm not so sure the Vikings are close to landing Cousins. He is the best team available to sign him. Yes, the Vikings. Okay, I'm on that now. You're reading my mind. So they did not franchise Case Keenum. It means all 3 of their former quarterbacks are free. Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Bradford, Case Keenum. Now, they could still re-sign Keenum for less money than the tag would have afforded them. But they are going to go hard after Kirk Cousins. Now, can they afford to pay him the money that he is, quote unquote, earned? That is an open question. Okay, we'll do. I'll try to hop on. It's an open question because they don't have like as much cap room as, say, the New York Jets. I think they have more than the Denver Broncos. Don't go quote me on that. And there was one other major team in the running. Who's ESPN? Oh, no, I'm blanking. They're giving 4 teams a legit shot at signing Cousins. I'm blanking on the 4th now, which should tell you because I told you I'm feeling a little untired today. It's the Jets, the Broncos, the Vikings. All right. Anyways. Those are the 3 top in my mind. I can't remember the other one because it's not as strong of a, like, oh, they're saying Arizona, throwing Arizona in there. For some reason, Arizona just doesn't feel as, like, strong to me. Like, they have a decent team, yes. But both the Rams and Seahawks are really competitive and the 49ers in that division now with Garoppolo. I don't think they'll be able to pay him as high. And the Jets are younger. New York is New York. So that's, like, a better selling point. And I feel like Denver and Minnesota both have a better team. And I don't know if the Vikings can afford Cousins. Like, how much does he value this contract over winning a championship? Personally, it's somewhat of a long shot with all 4 of those teams to win a title, with Philly and New England being so strong. That being said, on top of it, players usually get 1 big contract in their career. Now, Kirk Cousins has been franchised 3 years in a row, so he got 3 big 1-year deals. But this is the big one. This is what sets them up for life. Yeah, the Vikings do. They have a new offensive coordinator. So all these things are trying to entice Cousins, right? Because if he goes to the Jets, he's going to be paired up with Jeremy Bates, who is in the Schottenheimer system. I believe if he goes to the Vikings, he'll be paired up with a Schottenheimer offensive coordinator coaching tree disciple as well. So that makes both of those landing spots much more appealing than either Denver or Arizona, who ESPN have identified as the Final Four. That's a pretty fair Final Four. There's not a lot of other teams willing to pay the price for him, especially since Washington already got their guy. And so Jacksonville committed to Bortles. Yeah, I know, Maddie. It's kind of unbelievable. Oh, that's not for me. Confused. Why I got a message from my mom and it's not my mom. Confused, tired tonight. Don't worry about it. Anyways, back to NFL. So, new free agent Kirk Cousins. I think it's pretty even dead heat between the Vikings and Jets right now. The Jets can pay him a little bit more. The Jets will build a team around him, and they have Jeremy Bates. But the Vikings were this close to the Super Bowl. Now, I say this close because they made it to the NFC Championship game. That particular game wasn't very close. But one win away from reaching the Super Bowl, 2 wins away from a Super Bowl championship. That's a lot more than these other teams can claim. Do you think the Vikings will have the Eagles play on offense? I think the Vikings will try to do what they were successful at last season. I know they have a new offensive coordinator, but I don't think they're going to want to like flip the script, so to speak, because they were really good last year. I think they want to bring in a quarterback who's familiar with the offense, quote unquote, familiar, and can absorb it without drastically changing everything. Because, like I said, Minnesota made the championship game, so they don't want to change a ton. The Jets will be happy to reshape their offense completely and add players to complement. But this does not hurt Cousins' chances by any means. I think the Vikings, I mean, no matter who they add, I think that he'll slot in nicely to their offense and they'll have a good season. Oh, they have the old QB coach from the Eagles. Yeah, so I know they added. They don't want to do the exact same thing the Eagles do because the Eagles are probably going to do it better. They already won a Super Bowl doing it. So I think he'll take what he learned heading to a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia and what was successful in Philadelphia and apply it to Minnesota's offense. But he's going to sculpt the offense in his own image and around the quarterback they have, not Carson Wentz or Nick Foles. So, I mean, that's like that type of offense is very successful now. I don't think that they're going to go away from it, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. But I really like Minnesota next year, mainly because their division, I mean, Chicago, not yet. Detroit, teetering on falling down. And Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers always keeps them in the playoff conversation. But unless they do something to shake it up, they're just muddling around 9-7, 10-6. That's not good enough. So Minnesota's coming in as the favorite in their division, in my opinion. With Kirk Cousins, obvious hands-down favorite. Now, he's not as good as Aaron Rodgers. No way. But he's very good. If the Jets land Cousins, which I'm kind of hoping for, I don't want them to break the bank on him, but I really hope so because it really just brings continuity to the offense. It elevates the game of the players we have, and then they can add pieces around it. So I'm pulling for that. I'm sure the Vikings are pulling for it too. Your Vikings fans out there are pulling for Cousins. I want the Jets to get him. I wrote about this back in November that I wanted them to add him. And I know I've taken a few weeks off on BuzzChomp writing about the New York Jets. It's because it kind of like need to let the dust settle here. There's not a lot going on with the team. If you notice on ESPN, it's rehashing the same story about Cousins every day. That's not how I write. I'm doing this instead. So I'm going to get on the Jets as soon as something big happens, which will probably be before or around March 14th, which is the official start of the league year. Philly played to Nick Foles. Oh, yeah. It was supposed to be a different play when Foles got the touchdown? That's interesting. He ran very well, and it's totally elevated his stock, I must say. He's going to get traded and make a lot of money for him and Philadelphia in the process. So Robinson did not get the tag. He's not the only one that is now a free agent. There are a lot of free agents out here. Let's see if I can mute this. There we go. So Kirk Cousins, obviously the #1 free agent. Yes, technically Drew Brees is a free agent. I would be shocked if he did not return to New Orleans. Oh, the Vikings. Our Vikings fan wants Nick Foles. If you can get Nick Foles for a decent price, that's a really solid ad. I mean, he had a good season. He performed the best when the pressure was the highest. But temper expectations, because he has never quite put together like a great season. He didn't play all season. He played for a snippet of it. So he's still going to make mistakes, but I like him as a high upside, more consistent version of Blake Bortles. So it's a nice ad. I mean, that's a good quarterback for your team. I think he's stronger. I don't know. Bridgewater could really surprise us here, but I know he's coming off a lot of time out of the league. I think that Foles matches up is even. Him and Sam Bradford, him and Chase Keenum are kind of on the level, just because they all are coming off solid performances in their last outings on the field. I don't know. Foles just won a Super Bowl, so it's hard not to give him the edge. I don't know, depending on what team he ends up on, whether we'll feel that way after the year. I love Allen Robinson. Sheldon Richardson is an interesting free agent. We talked about him last week on Tuesday because some of the Raiders fans in the house really wondering whether he'd be a good addition. He was a great player for the Jets when motivated and when on board with the coaching staff, but he was a bad energy in the locker room when he did not like where things were losing, when he felt alienated. And I get it, sure, but no, we're not going to make excuses for this guy. He's a professional. This is his job. And you need a cohesive locker room to be on the same page and win football games. So he did not call him about asking to go to the Vikings. Who to call? So I don't think the Eagles-Vikings connections, it's I don't think it's going to be as strong as you think in the players they add and the ultimate makeup of this team. The Vikings were very strong. So it's not like he's going to a team that needs to be reshaped in the Super Bowl winning championship image. They were right there. And if they were literally right there. Now they didn't have enough to beat Philadelphia on the road in championship game. But they were excellent this season. So I don't think they're going to rock the boat. Oh, apologies to that. My timer's done. That means my laundry is complete. But we will continue on for another minute or two, wrapping up our favorite free agents. I like the upside of signing Sammy Watkins cheap. He's only 24 years old. It's a great reach. I wouldn't mind him coming to the Jets to match up to be a weapon for Cousins because he's familiar with the division. I like that. There's very few offensive linemen. So Andrew Norwell, a guard, he is going to fetch a pretty penny because everyone needs to add offensive line help, and there are not a lot available this year. Case Keenum is available. Malcolm Butler is available. There's some really solid cornerbacks and defensive backs available. I expect my New York Jets to sign probably 2 and then draft 1 because they just need some fresh blood, some new energy, a spark in that part of their defense. They have 2 great safeties, but the cornerback position was a little bit of a weakness last year. The guys really did a great job considering, but they need a true #1 at cornerback, and that'll elevate the game of who's on the team. I'm also a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. I think that this is a prove-it season for him. He could come in and just crush it at quarterback. Sam Bradford, I'm a little more iffy at. He's been hurt more often, and he's later in his year on the league. A couple of offensive linemen. Oh, yeah, defensive and Mohamed Wilkerson. Another guy who can be great, but he needs to be motivated, and he's kind of been in a souring of his career. He made a ton of money. I can see him having a 2-year deal where this first year is awesome, and then it kind of just – you're going to get 1 great year out of Mohamed Wilkerson because, again, he wants to prove himself. He's in a prove-it mode. Carlos Hyde, Jimmy Graham are two amazing offensive weapons to add. I want my Jets to go after both of those players. Their veteran presence. For a young team, adding a veteran like either of those at that position just elevates the offense, elevates everybody on offense. Jimmy Graham, he often gets double coverage. Carlos Hyde has been excellent in bursts and overall very good as a running back. And he's had longevity. I just like it. I like it. Have I read about my cousin? I will email you after and respond. And then please elaborate in your email so that you can give me as many details and we can have a nice email conversation. That would be fun. All right. Any final questions from the audience before I wrap things up? Next week, we're on the precipice of the new league year. And that's going to be kind of amazing because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of early stories coming out before things can get official. Oh, yes, but yeah, up in chat. I did. Please email me about it. I have to sign off now. Thank you. I've only got 20 minutes for you guys tonight. Sometimes I can go longer, but not tonight. Thanks. Shoot me an email. That would be awesome. Appreciate everyone joining me over on BuzzChomp's YouTube channel as well as on Facebook Live at The Dan Salem. Always on Twitter at The Dan Salem. Tweet at me. I'll answer you back. I love to talk NFL. We're going team by team through the league on NFL Spin Zone, debating their biggest issue. Tomorrow's the Carolina Panthers. All right, thanks. I'll be back next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time to talk more about the NFL. Thank you and good night. Peace.